for this year. Once you see that new growth, for me it's in August, you it might be September, then you start to water and fertilize. And the bigger that growth gets, the more water and the more fertilizer you give it. By the time you get to December, you should be giving it heaps and heaps. December is a big eating month for us, isn't it? We go to parties, Christmas lunch, we're eating a lot. Your thunias need to be eating a lot in December. You don't have time to give them water every day, so put them in a little dish of water and you won't have to worry about watering them. But keep the food up in December and January. I put fertilizer pellets around the top of the pot, and I also put fertilizer pellets in the actual water they're sitting on. So they're getting fertilizer from the top as well as the bottom. And then in autumn, when they start to go dormant, you reduce the water and stop the fertilizer, and in the winter you don't have to do much at all. Now, thunias are heavy feeders, supposedly. Well, they are. So are Cymbidiums, so are Lycastes. I've always wondered how that works in the wild. So here you have your thunia growing alongside the stream, right? How is it getting the equivalent of a cup of dynamic lifter from the wild? Is there a monkey cavorting around in the canopy and happens to poop right at the right place? Seems a bit unlikely, doesn't it? What are the chances of that? Or maybe this yak comes along and has a nice drink in this stream, and it leaves some nice fertilizer right at the edge of your thunia. That seems a bit sus as well, doesn't it? So maybe one of you scientist type people can tell us later on how orchids in the wild are heavy feeders, how they get fed. Because I want to know the answer to that. All right, moving on. The common name for thunias are the bamboo orchid or the Christmas orchid for obvious reasons. Look at those lovely lush leaves, look very much like bamboo. And in Sydney anyway, they flower around Christmas time. All right, pests and diseases. Butterflies and moths love to lay eggs underneath all those beautiful leaves. For years in December and January, every morning I would get up and go pick the caterpillars off the leaves, a very tedious task, because my thunias were just out under the pergola. Then the light came on, and I thought, this is ridiculous. I moved some of my cattleys around and put my thunias in the bush house, where there's not near so many butterflies and moths, and now I don't have to worry about picking caterpillars off. This was last year. Look at this. This is a nice little group of caterpillars, isn't it? However, once the thunias flower, like the end of December, then you can take them out of your protected area and let the butterflies and moths go crazy. Who cares if they chomp the leaves of your plant? Because it's going to lose all the leaves anyway. Let them go for their lives. Same with spider mites. Every year, March, April, my thunias get spider mites. I used to spend all this time trying to spray them. Very tricky when your thunia is this tall, you're trying to get under the leaves. You don't want to get the spray on yourself, do you? Forget it. You don't need to. They're going to lose their leaves anyway. Let the spider mites go for their lives or just take the leaves off. And as far as I can tell, that does not have any effect whatsoever on the next year's growth. So, what other orchid genera is in your collection that the day after it flowers, you don't care if all the leaves get eaten or if it gets infected? You don't care because it's not going to matter. Brilliant, isn't it? The best orchid ever. You won't need one, or two, or three. All right, as I said, winter rest, that's another good reason. The winter, you don't have to do anything. It doesn't take up much room. There's no leaves on your plant. It sticks. Just stick them in a corner. You don't have to water them. For years, I didn't water them all. They just got totally brown and limp and didn't do anything. August, September, up comes some new growth. If you water them a little bit during the winter so that they stay a little bit green, same thing happens. August, September, they have a new growth. So why bother watering, right? You don't have to do